Hello, everybody. So today we've had a question come through via email, and it's in response to what the fundamentals business framework. So the question is, I'm a supervisor, trainer, and health and safety coordinator. Been in the industry for 25 years and have seen many different types of online restoration training and information sites. I was wondering, how does your site differ? I assume you have researched other sites. The main point I'm looking for is the ability of a site to both fully understand restoration work and be able to deliver training and information in a cohesive way that includes proof of trainer qualifications, backgrounds, on-site developers, and reliable sources for feedback and support. So the questions, there's a few questions in there, so I thought we'd just sit down. I got myself, Phil and Brooke, and we'd just sort of go through what is involved in what we're trying to put together. And great questions. Really love these sort of questions. So I guess the first thing is who am I and why have I got authority to do what I'm doing? So a little bit of background. I've been in industry for almost 25 years myself, have owned a business for the last 10 years, have managed larger businesses than mine for about 7 years prior to, and was a technician prior to that. So I've done many courses in the industry. I'm in the cleaning and restoration industry. So I've done many courses. I've travelled extensively overseas. I've been Canada, America, New Zealand, Australia. So I'm in Australia now. So what gives me the qualifications to do so? Well, nothing really. Nothing gives me the qualifications to do so, other than the fact that I've been around the industry, and it doesn't matter what the industry is, everyone seems to have the same issues.
Yeah.
So Brooke, you've owned a cleaning company. What are some of the issues that you had you had a small bit cleaning company? What do you have, five to 10 staff?
About 5.
5 staff?
Yeah.
What were some of the issues you had?
Finding reliable staff.
Okay.
Training staff.
I've only got 19 staff. Same issues for me. Everyone I talk to, same issues. What other problems you've had?
Same as when I've spoken to other people with cleaning companies. It's the same issues. Training staff, reliable ways of doing things, growing the business. How do you go from working in the business to working on it instead?
Absolutely.
All of those sorts of things, you've got to retire at some stage. So if you've got a company that you're working in, how do you retire from that?
Yeah.
Without you, the company no longer exists to an extent.
So what I've sort of been lucky enough to do is that over the past 9 years, I've been able to develop systems and put them in place in the business I have, which is a restoration company. I've been able to step out of that business, almost completely out of that business in the last 9 months. And I've started up this new business, CARSI, which is the Cleaning and Restoration Science Institute. And basically, the idea of getting out of that business and working on this business was to do exactly that, is to work on the business.
Yeah.
So by the business able to have enough funds to support a new venture that, to be all honestly, hasn't made $1 in 9 months, but the reason for doing is because I can see the same issues, and even when I'm growing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many staff members you have, you have exactly the same issues. It's how do I get good staff? How do I keep my staff? How do I train my staff? That when I've trained them, how do I stop them from moving on to somebody else or starting up their own? How do I follow up to make sure they are doing the training, they are doing the right job? And so I thought I'd implement a system and put it together to try and build something for the industry. So again, it's not for just cleaning and restoration. This is over all industries. All industries have these issues. So the idea of what we've come up with is by building your business framework, the fundamentals of your business framework correctly, you can then grow your business to whatever size you want. And it doesn't matter whether you just want to be 2-person operation, 1 person, you want to have 50 staff, you want to be a national company, an international company. It doesn't matter. The size of the company doesn't matter. It's the fundamentals of the business that you must get correct to start with. So, for instance, I want to start a mechanic shop. I absolutely know nothing about mechanics, but I got 50 grand in my pocket and I said, oh, well, I can start a mechanic shop. So I go out and I buy hoists and lifts and the best tools you can get, and I don't know how to advertise. I don't know how to get clients in the door, or I don't know how to speak to clients. I don't know how to keep clients.
Yeah.
So the object of this is to make sure that your business fundamentals are correct, the framework is correct, and then you can build on that.
Yeah.
So to get where I am today took me 9 years.
Yeah.
To work from in my business to working on my business. The reason it took so long is because I wanted to do it in stages that I could grow comfortably and be able to do what I wanted to do.
Still keep up with it as well. You don't want to grow when you don't have the capabilities to it. If you go from starting a company one day and just being yourself, and then all of a sudden you've got all this work coming in and you don't have staff and you don't have anyone trained, it makes it hard. Where do you go from there? Are you saying no to work? Are you taking the work on and doing extra hours, or what does that look like?
Yep. So people that own businesses that actually like what they do don't think about the hours they're putting in because they like what they're doing. So it's only those people that sort of whinge and bitch about the hours they're putting in. I don't know if they're the right person for the job, but these are the things that we go through in the fundamentals of business, is setting your business up correctly. Now, I travel to the States, other than this year, 3 to 4 times a year. And each time I go from 2 to 3 weeks. So that's me out of the business, 6 to 12 weeks a year. For the past 7 years I've done that.
Yeah.
So how have I been able to do that? It's by putting those strategies in place and building those frameworks. So am I the right person to do this? I think so. Have I got the skills to back it up? I think I have. I can prove that the business I've developed and grown has that the skills to do it. Why am I teaching it to other people? Well, I guess the idea of teaching it to other people is try, one, to get the industry up.
Yep. Raise the bar.
Raise the bar.
Standard.
And the second thing is that the people who are lazy. They won't do it anyway. Some people don't want to spend money on themselves. They don't want to spend money on their business. They would rather just keep having those issues, the same issues over and over and over again, whinging and bitching to everybody how bad it is, how terrible their staff are, but actually doing nothing about it. So
there's also those companies as well that aren't really companies. And how do you go up in competition with those people that don't know what they're doing and just go, I've cleaned my own bathroom. I'm going to go out and do it. But then what happens when their chemical reacts to something or something goes wrong? It's trying to be able to show even clients and suppliers and all of those sorts of people that this is why we charge what we do. It's justifying almost and building that value around what you're charging and value around your services.
Yeah, and it's also given you that ability to, if something goes wrong, you can then start pinpointing back what part of that training went wrong. Was it part of your strategy? Was it part of it wasn't in there? So this is a living document. It's growing all the time. We're working on this full time. So the idea is that we work with the people that join up, and it's an open conversation that we have. It's a community, so you can ask questions for people in that community. You can ask questions with us. If you want something built specifically, we can look at doing that as well. So it's different to anything else because everything else is stagnant. It's done once and it stays the same for 10, 15 years. It doesn't change.
And that's if you get something for your money.
There's
There's plenty of membership platforms out there for the industry that you...
Yeah, exactly right.
What is your money for? Just to be able to put their logo on your website or be able to advertise that you're a firm with them, but then how do you qualify that you're actually a firm with them? What does it even mean?
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to know was the jurisdiction differences, the laws, the regulations, and anything else that may vary. Well, look, this comes back down to you as a business owner or the manager of that business understanding those in your local area. They're all going to be different, and they can be different from suburb to suburb.
Yeah.
They can be different from state to state. They can be different across the same country. So there's not going to be a one course that fits all, but as legislation now states, it is check your local guide, your local laws, your local
and
acts.
That's what we try and refer back to.
Absolutely.
Is with everything. And even we did a training day a few weeks ago now, and we had some businesses that had staff, some businesses that didn't have staff, and just some of the general things that are legal requirements, and they didn't even know that. So we were able to kind of open their eyes up a little bit to, well, why don't you have that stuff? And have you ever checked? And what other legislation don't you know about?
So the idea is that the system is there for you to go through to ensure that you have those in place. Not to say that you have to have them in place straight away. What you're trying to do is trying to limit your risk. So bring your risk level down by going through the steps. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was a business. So it's all about, how do I get the information, where do I get the information from, and how do I even know what information I need? That's what this is all about. It's about building this community that we can grow together and put back into the industry, to grow the industry, to make this industry a lot better, and to bring some sort of regulation and some sort of stigma that we want. We want it to be a trade one day. We want this to be...
Let's step away from the you're just a cleaner, or
Yeah.
you're just a restorer, or you're just a technician. Well, what does that even mean? I'm sure if you walked up to anybody on the street and said, I'm a technician, half of them are not going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Or I'm a restorer. They're not going to know what you're talking about unless you're in the industry or close enough to, or had something go wrong. You're not going to know what that is.
Yeah. So that's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to close down any other,
Step on anyone else's
toes. Yeah, we're not. This is completely different to anything other than what I've seen in the market for 25 years that I've been in it. And I feel myself, the more I put into this, the further we can go with it as well. So there's a lot more to come. And again, it's a living document. We've only been working on this for 9 months now, but in 9 months we've been able to put together quite a uniform step of where we're trying to go with it. So we've got a plan, we've got onboarding system, so new staff members, we've got existing staff members, making sure that they have actually gone through and done all the onboarding systems that they should have done. The OH&S is up to scratch. It's limiting the liability back to the owner.
Yeah.
So that's what this is about. I hope that helps, and we'll catch you on the next one.